So often in gaming, as it is in life, the devil is in the details. Oh sure, that new car looks great, sounds great, has all the toys, but then you buy it. And the second you try to actually go somewhere in it, it empties its fuel tank and deposits the tyre treads on the road within the first 5 miles. Not what you imagined when you bought your shiny new compensation tool, was it? With that in mind, let's take a look at Breaking Gates, a 2D action platforming RPG released on the 17th of November 2020 from developer Ylun Games, and available right now on Steam for £4.99. And it has everything you could ever want from the genre. Great combat, fun and complex platforming, a cute and quirky premise with some memorable and distinctive characters, a great art and presentation style, and a ton of content to play and explore. And then you play it. It empties your tank, spins up its tyres, and you're left wondering, can I make it to the end of this journey? Well, is this game best left in the showroom, or can it make it to the finishing line? Let's find out. This is my review of 2020's Breaking Gates. The game's synopsis reads, Breaking Gates is a 2D action platformer game in a fantastic and animated world. Developed by fans of classic games of the genre, Breaking Gates combines dynamic gameplay and creates a new experience as you explore the map. Collect items, create and unlock a vast array of weapons, equipment, and items to defeat countless challenging creatures and bosses who await you in this adventure. The game follows our protagonist, Heiko, a novice wandering warrior, and his sidekick, Egro, a Geodude who got really into Need for Speed Underground, as they battle across multiple, multi-layered maps against a bunch of enemies and bosses. They seek to aid the captain in destroying portal crystals scattered across the world that open gateways for the Chris's to come in and wreak havoc on an unsuspecting kingdom. Hence the title, Breaking Gates. And that's sort of where the game's narrative begins and ends. Oh, don't get me wrong, there are cutscenes and there are conversations between NPCs and our heroes, bosses, and the occasional bit of exposition from the captain. But to give you an idea of how little this game cares for its premise after the first 2 minutes, at no point is Heiko's name ever mentioned. And I mean ever. I'm not joking. I had to go into the character menu to find what he's called. What's the name of the kingdom itself, you might be asking? Not a clue, never mentioned. And that's disappointing, when a game has put so much into creating a look and feel that has an air of magic and childlike wonder as this game clearly has. The fact that it has next to nothing with it, and its cast of colourful characters, such as the grizzled captain or the blacksmith Helen, leaves you a little deflated. But let's be honest, as long as the gameplay is good, this can always be forgiven. The game itself looks great, smooth animations with tons of lovely detail in the characters, backgrounds, the enemies and the bosses. They all feel unique and bespoke to the world, and it has a very vibrant and colourful look. The music is epic, yet playful, and the sound design really does complement the overall fantastical feel. I like how the whole game has a collision course vibe of Western design inspired by anime cartoons as evidenced by the main character, and some of the combat animations. I really do love the look and feel of this game. However, there are a few bugs and glitches. The notable ones include when the game won't close as you exit to your desktop and you have to use Task Manager to get rid of the thing. There are examples of buttons not registering commands, or enemies taking damage when they should, and the occasional fault in executing super moves in that you'll press the button and nothing will happen. But now here comes the tricky bit. When it comes to the mechanics for the PC version of Breaking Gates, I think the best place to start is to note that I'm not sure that this game was always intended to be released on PC as its primary platform. As a matter of fact, as of this review, the mobile port of this game has been released just 2 months ago, and it's almost identical in terms of layout and gameplay, which for me explains why so much of the game has the feel of a mobile game ported to PC. So understand going in that a lot of what I'm about to say is tempered by that fact. But with that disclaimer out of the way, let's dive into the gameplay, shall we? The game is comprised of 4 maps with multiple levels that you traverse to fight enemies, earn experience points and spendable crystals, unlock loot boxes and find collectibles, exploring and destroying crystals scattered across the map, which once destroyed will unlock a boss battle. Beating this boss will unlock the next level and the cycle repeats all over again. The combat is comprised of a simple attack button that when used in combination with the directions or power moves will form combinations that can be used to gain the advantage against all kinds of foes, be them large in number, large in size, armed with poison barbs, quick, slow and everything in between. Done correctly, it's possible to defeat up to 8 enemies at a time, and if done well, you'll earn plenty of XP as well as loot that enemies drop when sent to Deddy Buys. The combat itself is decent enough, powerful when it connects, satisfying and very stylistic, albeit a bit button mashy. The power moves add a nice balance against the times that you're outnumbered, albeit it has some annoying traits, such as long enough combinations make Heiko just wander off, making it difficult to hone in on individual enemies. The super moves are learned through spending crystals at the vendor, with 8 learned in total, and these consume 2 meters, a 4-bar power meter for standard moves, and a super meter for 1 finisher. Again, these are great, satisfying to use, and they help make battles more interesting and varied. The platforming is nothing special. Due to the design of the levels, your biggest issue is going to be locating all the hidden areas that the game has purposefully obscured from view or hidden behind destructible parts of the map. But one look at your menu version of the map will reveal where you've yet to discover. As you progress through the levels, there are portals that you unlock that serve as fast travel, and the upgrades to your character and equipment are varied and meaningful. The loot is RNG, so while you'll likely get a lot of duplicates and, frankly, crap, you'll occasionally happen across a sweet sword, mask or ring, or even crafting material that can be put to use. The loot you hoard can be used to craft potions, broken down into spendable crystals, or equipped to boost your attributes. Your attributes are boosted as you gain levels from experience points from defeating enemies, and you can add points into the 4 attributes of your character, as well as earn medals to upgrade the effects of your gear. There's plenty of variants of the items too, at least 150 different types. But I can't hold it in any longer. This game has one utterly fatal flaw. And it only occurred to me when I clocked my current playtime. You see, at 6 hours in, having grinded and leveled up, I was still struggling against enemies you meet in the first part of the first level. And not because I hadn't leveled up, as I mentioned, I'd done that. And it's not because I hadn't optimized my loadout, or stocked up on healing potions. I had my combat patterns down pat, and I was executing my moves flawlessly. It's because this game is an utter and unabashed goddamn grindfest. The game has been purposefully geared towards making it almost impossible for the player to progress in any meaningful way without dying hundreds of times, waking up at the camp, trying to tweak your loadout, upgrade what you can, and then heading out back to be utterly destroyed by enemies several levels below you. They deal so much damage and they take so little. You'll be wondering just how bad it could get when you do move up to another level, and it's as bad as you can imagine. Because when you do progress in level and make it to the next map, and you happen across enemies several levels above you, prepare to have your ass kicked in more ways than you can imagine. Every enemy drops spendable crystals, and you earn more as you progress in hunting tasks by taking out several of the same type of enemy. But this is exactly the kind of setup and mechanic of a free-to-play mobile game that is unreasonably grindy and would otherwise offer you the ability to buy your way through. Upgrades to your super moves are super expensive, and not only that, the same crystals you use to buy the moves are used to buy supplies, and that's even if you can make them because the loot drops are so infrequent and random. Crafting is almost a non-factor in this game because there's never enough of anything to make anything in the first place. All the work the game did in enticing you in, all the work it had put into making it a shiny, interesting and colourful world worth exploring with well-placed and dynamic platforming combat, and yet here we are waiting for the RAC to tow us home to explain to the wife why the new cock rocket is chugging like a 15th century pirate. Just to bring it back to the analogy from before, this game is grindy. I really wanted to like this game, and on some level I do. If they made the loot drops more even, rebalanced the damage enemies sustained, or added difficulty settings, this would be a great little game. I'd even forgive its bugs. But that grind, it ruins any fun you have because it makes the game seem so pointless to die over and over again against the same respawning enemies. It becomes the one thing a game should never be: tedious. As a result, I do not recommend this game. If it could be repatched or rebalanced for PC, then that would be one thing. But as it stands at the moment, there are plenty of better 2D RPG action platformers that you could get your hands into. Seriously, tell the salesman you're going to go home and think about it, and then forget about that shiny new toy. Ugh. Thankfully, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching this edition of the Halcyon Show. I've been your host, Ylun Games. Please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more reviews and videos in the future. And as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next episode.